So I just finished episode 3 of TLC's PolyFamily, and we have a lot to talk about. We're only on episode 3, and it feels like we've seen seasons of this, mostly because of all of the allegations and court documents that have been coming out about our favorite person, Shawn. Already going into this feeling some type of way about him definitely makes me, actually, I don't even think it changes my opinion anyway. If anything, it validates it. So I knew coming into this episode, I gotta get ready to fight. In the preview for the episode, we already saw that Shawn was talking crazy to Tyler at their little sit-down dinner.
Dude, you don't need to parent me. I don't need that. We're grown men. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, but like, maybe if I was parenting you, that would have happened.
Good thing for Tyler, he did not back down, as he shouldn't. The biggest issue that I have is the lead up to that dinner. To add a little bit of context for the episode, it is Taya's birthday, so they are celebrating her birthday. That's why they did the little boat thing. And it was a nice moment that Taya and Alicia shared, going to yoga and bonding that way, mostly because we all know from the first 2 episodes that Alicia feels very left out of the relationship, which I hate that she has to feel that type of way in a relationship, not only in a relationship with one person, but in a poly relationship with 3 other people. Now, Tyler, I don't blame him too much, mostly because you know how he is. That's your actual husband and what you signed up for. So, I feel like the core issue with her insecurities stems from Shawn. And I feel like all of the issues in that relationship mostly stems from Shawn. She said multiple times, and even in other episodes, that trying to talk to Shawn is just impossible. He doesn't disclose his feelings. It's kind of like having a wall up.
And I just feel like he keeps me at arm's length and doesn't trust me enough.
And the producer even asked her, "Do you think Shawn is your person?" And she said no.
Is Shawn your person?
I wouldn't call Shawn my person. I feel like we still have some walls up when it comes to our communication and being able to confide in each other.
Why would anyone want to have a relationship with someone that you feel is shut down? So if he was to open up more and actually be a decent human being, I feel a lot of her insecurities would be at rest, because Tyler and Taya, they're just chill. And she said it in the first episode, and I honestly would feel the same way. If you're with Tyler one night and then you go with Shawn the next night, of course you're going to be judging and saying, "Oh, well, I'm stuck with Shawn," because it's just completely different. And that all stems from him, not in him as in Shawn, not opening up. How long have y'all been doing this? For years. And you still feel like there's a big wall up. Putting that to the side, the biggest thing of the episode, and the thing that really irked me the most, was Shawn is a big baby. He is a big victimized baby that always wants to play the victim. He can never take criticism. He's never wrong. It's always someone else. It makes sense that, I feel like I say this every episode, but it makes sense that he was her supervisor and how she described him in episode 1 of being rude, I guess. This grown man is so pissed off over these text messages of finding out the blood work of the baby that he's over here crying and complaining to everybody else, have all these smart comments to say in his confessional, in the other room.
That's something that can tell us paternity, and you just willy-nilly throw it in a text message. It's kind of a dick move. I didn't want to know this. Like, why on earth would you ever tell me this? And why on earth would you want to know it yourself anyways?
You're upset with Tyler?
Yes, 100%.
But he won't be man enough to go into the next room with Tyler and actually say how he feels. Alicia, for one, is upset because he has yet to come to her, which goes back to him having that wall up and not being a partner. Taya, she's over here trying to talk with him and not even, taking Tyler's side, which Everyone knows he's right, but empathize with him and really talk with him, and he just doesn't care. She's over here in tears. She just had a baby. She talked about earlier in the episode having postpartum depression. So she's over here dealing with his issues and crying because it's stressing her a lot, and he doesn't even care. Unfazed by it, but just continues to go on and on and on about how he's upset with Tyler, how it was just a dick move to do, blah, blah, blah.
I see why your brain doesn't go there, but I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't be irritated if the roles were reversed.
But won't say anything. When they go on their trip, they kept saying, well, I hope the guys issue, I hope they won't do this, I hope they, when it's not they, it's Shawn. It's just from what I've seen and also from what both of the wives have said. It's a Shawn problem, so I hate that you guys keep grouping him up with that. He's making the whole trip sour because he's in his feelings over this blood work. Now, I thought it was Tyler sent a chart and blood work was on there. I didn't realize that it was like a text like, oh, and the blood work. But at the end of the day, I don't blame him, and I'm not on Shawn's side at all. One, because of how he treated him and apparently has been treating him. But then two, this isn't like some big Scooby-Doo mystery. Like, you will have to find out at some point. So for you to sit up here and act like he just leaked the Krusty Krab recipe, make it make sense. If you did feel some type of way, be man enough to say it, which gets me to their sit down drinks or dinner. Honestly, I would have done it baddie style. Don't even look at the menu. There ain't about to be much talking. Square up. He's talking all this smack, and Tyler has to hear it from everybody else except him. Y'all are grown men. Well, actually, you're a grown man, because I'm only talking to Shawn. You are a grown man acting like this. Then they sit down, and Shawn is like, I don't even know why I'm here.
I mean, I don't really know why I'm here. Tyler asked me to be here to talk about things, so I'm hoping that he starts talking at some point. So we'll see how it goes.
You've been sitting here going off to everybody over this man and these text messages. He's done the mature thing and said, let's have drinks. Let's talk it out like men. And you over here, well, I don't know why I sound like Candy.
Well, you don't know this. Like a damn country bumpkin.
You over here grumpy and grouchy and having this attitude as if nothing's wrong when he's literally trying to reach out. Well, I won't even say reach out a hand, but he's trying to, open up the floor so you can express yourself. If you got something to say it to my face and not behind my back. He should have came with that energy, but he didn't. He laid it out there, but then Shawn wants to make these little digs at him and have these snarky comments and snarky remarks where, I'm sorry, after the first one about how I should have parented you, I'm sorry. Either I would have been throwing hands or I would have said, well, guess what? You ain't nobody's parent. You don't get to just pop off at the mouth and not be held accountable. I'm so glad that Tyler stood his ground, not be bullied by the big bully baby that Shawn is. Shawn even tried to sneak in that whole grounding situation, which I'm glad Tyler was just like, yeah, and about that, I'm glad you brought it up because you were wrong in that situation. But again, Shawn cannot take any accountability. He's never wrong. And he loves to say, oh, well, if the roles were reversed, because the conversation came up about being the biological father. If they were to split, he can take the kids from sir. It seems like kids been taken away from you is not a new thing. So, because I'm sitting here wondering, why are we sitting here talking about that? If y'all are some family, why are we sitting here arguing just because we found out who the biological father is, although we already knew? Why are we sitting here debating custody and taking kids? Huh? All these allegations are starting to add up and make sense because it was very weird to take that detour. But he has all the facts because guess what? He looked it up. And I'm sure that after they found out the blood type of Quentin, one, if not both of them, probably looked through the files to see the blood type of everybody else. So how the episode ended really, really pissed me off. Tyler still tried to be mature about it, and he said, you already said if we weren't in this, we wouldn't be friends. But look at us. We can work on that, and we can work towards that. And his response was like, well, what do you want me to do? Do this?
I think we
owe it to each other and our family to try to be closer and have a better understanding of each other.
That's probably what we need to do. Is like, I mean, what do you want to do? You go see plays on the weekend, like together, like hold hands, or do like that's probably not going to happen, right? We just need to. I mean, it'll work out or it won't work out. Like we're going to do our best, but we have other partners, we have other kids. We're like,
Sir, nobody wants to be your friend at the end of the day. Let's just state the facts. Why would anybody want to be in any type of relationship with someone who acts like that? Why would anyone want to be girlfriend, wife, or brother, husband, or whatever you want to call it with someone like that? We can go through personalities, looks, jobs, stability, records. Nothing is attractive in my eyes. These are just my eyes. In my opinion. But what is the appeal? He doesn't open up to you guys. He doesn't express feelings. So what is the appeal? He ain't working. I don't think. Is it money? Please enlighten me. Shawn needs to see a therapist. I love therapy. I love my therapist. He has helped me not to become as crazy as I could. But Shawn needs to see a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, everybody, because there's so much built up resentment and so many issues in him that is so obvious that he does not share, and he shares in the most volatile way. He started to say his real feelings about like the paternity and everything else when he could have just said that at the beginning. A blind man can see there's built up resentment, and until he expresses it and be true to himself, it's not going to end well. Next week, they're going to a lawyer's office because guess who is freaked out about custody now? Now he wants to talk to lawyers about all the other kids. Shawn. I don't see this relationship thriving or surviving. Not with him in it, because it's like one spoiled apple and it does ruin the bunch. Trying to make some poly thing work with this man? No. Those are my thoughts on this recent episode. I just watched it, so I'm fresh from it. I did upload the episode with my reaction on my Patreon, so you can check that out. It is in the description. It's a small way to support me, but you can also see the full season so far, full episodes with my commentary, as well as so many other shows too. We do live watch parties too, so it's a lot of fun. Comment below your thoughts on tonight's episode if you've seen it yet, because it's a lot. I'm about to go on Reddit.